Welcome to the Hudson Show. Coming up, a grandma that's definitely tougher than yours. Also, is it time for the Jaguars and Bengals to fire their coaches? All that and more on the way next. It is the Hudson Show from RadioU. Thanks for listening and keeping us commercial-free, ad-free with your donations. Isn't it nice to have a podcast that's ad-free? I'll tell you what, I know you can fast forward through podcast ads, but they may be the most annoying form of ads that there is, at least in my opinion. I mean, it's hard to get away from the ads. Even all the streaming services now have added ads in, but I still a lot of times go for that version because it's cheaper. Anyways, I'm talking of streaming services. NetCredit just did a study where they tried to figure out which streaming service is the best value for your money. How did they do that? By looking at how many highly rated new TV shows and movies, which they consider new, anything released since January 2023, and anything highly rated, something that has at least a score of 75 or 7.5 on IMDb. And then they accounted for the cost of the streaming service. To my shock, the top streaming service is the best value if you want new highly rated movies, Amazon Prime Video. It's $1.95 per month for per highly rated movie. That's amazing. It is crazy. I don't know what movies are on Amazon Prime Video. I never wind up going on there. I can't name anything original on Amazon Prime Video, but the results are the results. Netflix, Disney Plus also got pretty high marks on this. And I'll tell you, the far and away loser for this is Apple TV, which in a sense I get because they just don't have a ton of volume on Apple TV. But at the same time, it sometimes seems like they just, every time they put out something new, it's very highly rated. Max also got pretty low scores. As far as TV shows go, Netflix, Prime Video, Max, and Hulu all got very good scores. And then you have at the bottom, by a wide margin, Paramount Plus. I'll tell you what, like, you go through this whole exercise and, like, I don't know if there's a lot you can learn about any individual streaming service. To me, I still feel like individually, any streaming service is probably worth it. Like, you can find some stuff to watch on there, but it is going to run out. And to watch all of the good stuff that anybody wants to watch, if you spend any time watching movies or TV, you really have to have like several different streaming services. And that's where it becomes not a value for your money, because you're paying so much when you add them all together that it's just not viable. The answer is, I don't know, pirating? No, don't do that. It was password sharing. Now, I don't know if there is an answer. I think it's just, you got to miss out on some stuff if you want to have any money. It's the Hudson Show. That feels good on a Monday to be right. I was telling anybody who would listen last week that it didn't matter if Jordan Love started for the Packers. All that mattered is if Will Levis started for the Tennessee Titans. And he started and he finished and he threw a pick six. And the Packers, with Malik Willis, their backup quarterback, who they just acquired from the Titans like 3 weeks ago, defeated the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are, unless the Jaguars, along with the Jaguars, the only winless teams left in the league. And it's Will Levis. I happened to watch a lot of the first game for the Titans against the Bears. And then I watched basically all of their game last week against the Jets. And so I've seen a lot of Will Levis in 2 games. I know he may get good one day because it's just bad decision making, but he's not good now. He is not good now. And as long as he keeps starting, the Titans are probably going to keep losing. And as a Packers fan and as somebody who just predicted it, it feels good. Also feels good to be right about the Saints. They could get nothing going on offense against the Eagles. I still think they're fraudulent. The Saints are. And actually, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a player for the Eagles, agreed. He said the Saints are fraudulent as long as you got Derek Carr quarterback, is what he said. Then they're just not going to be one of the contenders, and that showed yesterday. Now, I have to admit, in the NFL, I was wrong about the Cowboys. I thought that they would put it on the Ravens, and well, that is simply not what happened. The Cowboys did not get going until about the fourth quarter, and then by that point, it was too late. Even Tom Brady, doing the broadcast, was tired of watching the Cowboys screw things up. You can go look up the clip of that. Now, my question is, who's panicking more today? The Cowboys or the Browns? Because both did not look good yesterday. The Browns lost to the Giants. But maybe the Browns, in a weird way, panicking less because at least they've got a change they can make. You can switch it up. Get Deshaun Watson out of there. Get Jameis Winston in there. He's been crushing it on TikTok, as I've seen. So maybe he can crush it in a game for you as well. And anytime you're losing to the Giants, it's a bad sign. When you were a kid, do you remember getting told that you weren't supposed to sit in the W formation, you know, where your like feet are beside your butt and your knees are in front of you? I always thought that was like because it was bad for your hips or something like that. At least that's what I remember hearing. But then I just saw this woman on TikTok who says you're not supposed to sit in a W. And if you have kids, like stop them from sitting in a W. And it's not because of that. It's because it wears out the tops of your shoes because they're like they're not meant to be coming in contact with carpet and stuff. And so when you're putting the tops of your shoes on the ground all the time and getting up and down, it's bad for your shoes. It'll wreck your shoes. You have to buy new ones. Is it bad that like I've never been the health thing, like my hips, whatever, I'll sit how I want. But then you give me this argument as an adult, like it's going to ruin your shoes. And I'm like, no, I need to change. Crisscross applesauce it is. Go ahead and let me know what you've watched recently. Any recommendations? Things to avoid? Because it's time for our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, looking at what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. I have to admit, I'm a bit surprised, a bit shocked at what the numbers are showing me here from the weekend. And that is the number one movie was once again Beetlejuice. It made about $26 million. That brings its total in North America to over $226 million, which is obviously pretty impressive. And impressive that it was able to stick around at the number one spot, even though it's been out for close to a month now, beating out the best new release from the weekend, which is Transformers 1. That only made, it was close, $25 million, but not enough to get to number one. I feel like that you might expect more for like a family, like a kid's movie coming out that got pretty darn good reviews. Still not able to surpass Beetlejuice at the box office, but Transformers 1, probably the type of thing that people will, over the next month, will just keep going back. Maybe when you got kids, you're a little less likely to be like, we got to go opening weekend. Number 3, Speak No Evil in the box office breakdown. That made about $5 million. Now, what did you see over the weekend? Let me know at 8772 Radio U. What I watched is a movie called Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. It stars Kristen Wiig as like, it's not a character, I don't think, from Saturday Night Live, but it was very similar to many of her characters from Saturday Night Live. A very innocent, single, middle-aged, Midwestern woman, very naive and sweet and whatever. And her and her friend, I don't remember which one's Barb and which one's Star, but they go to Vista Del Mar. It's like their first vacation. And it's actually like, it's not laugh out loud, you're rolling on the floor laughing, but I thought it was funny. You have to have the right sense of humor for it. It's not anywhere close to family friendly, but it is one of those movies where like, I guess I'm used to comedies being like way more hard R in this day and age. And it's not that. Like, it's fairly innocent and tame as far as comedies go. I enjoyed it. It is a throwback to a different, I feel like when Saturday Night Live characters used to get movies. And again, I don't think this is actually based off of a character from Saturday Night Live, but that style of movie where it's like, if you like the person from Saturday Night Live, you might like the movie. That's what this really is. The other thing I watched is the first episode of The Penguin on Max, and I'm not sure. I'll tell you this. I'm not so excited about it that I'm going to keep going back to it, that I'm like, oh, I can't miss the next episode, which comes out this coming Sunday, I believe, or somewhere this week. I don't even know when it comes out because I watched it. I was like, yeah, this is all right. I might, make time for it, but it's like an hour. I don't know if I have time to watch. Like, that's almost a movie. I don't know if I have that kind of time during football season. Let me know what you watched. 8772 Radio U. That's your box office breakdown. I've got a grandma here that might be tougher than yours. In Thailand, a 64-year-old woman just survived being choked by a python for about 2 hours. The python, 13 feet long. She was doing the dishes when the snake started climbing up her leg. And by the time she realized what was going on, it was too late, and it wound up wrapping itself around her midsection. And so she was just kind of struggling there on the floor. I don't know if you can imagine that it'd be hard to do anything with a 13-foot snake using all of its might to try to choke you out. So somehow she managed to call out loud enough at some point for her neighbors to hear her and call the police, and they got there and rescued her. She's supposed to make a full recovery. First of all, I have to call into the question this snake. What do you think you're doing, 13-foot snake? You think you're actually going to eat a whole entire person? Because I don't know if that's actually possible. I think your eyes might be a little bit bigger than your stomach. And secondly, I mean, if you can get past the possibly dying side of it, doesn't this sound kind of relaxing? Like, wouldn't it be like a weighted blanket or like just some really nice cuddles? I don't know. I guess snakes aren't exactly cuddly. Here with NayNay for a food fight. And NayNay, this is going to be a fun food fight. I'll tell you why.
How?
Because it's not just going to be a surprise to you what we're tasting. It's also a surprise to me. It's actually a surprise to everyone because what I have here is Mountain Dew's annual mystery flavor for 2024, Voodoo, in honor of Halloween coming up. They do this every year. So we get to guess what flavor this is.
So we don't know what it is at all.
We do not know.
No idea.
After we try it, I can give you some other people's guesses, but...
Well, what was it last year?
Candy corn? Maybe?
Oh, candy corn. I love me some candy corn.
I actually have some of the 2023 one still if you want it.
How much what?
I still have some 2023 if you want.
Gosh, that's nasty, dude. Mystery Throw that out.
Well, you think this goes bad?
Yes.
No,
I do think it goes bad.
It's sealed in here. This is going to be good till the day we die.
That even concerns me more about the fact that I'm about to drink this.
If anyone wants 2023 Mountain Dew Mystery, hit me up. I got some. Got some
you
cans.
should sell it. Make some
Zero
money off.
and full sugar. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for 2024.
Okay. So mystery 160. Actually, why am I looking at the calories? I ain't never care about what's in these drinks. All right, here we go. We got to get the best.
Give it that.
Got to give it the little
Give it the smell.
Oh my goodness, I love that. Okay.
So fruity.
Watch it be like grape or something because it's in a purple bottle.
Oh my gosh. I think I've been...
Oh. Almost tastes like Starburst.
NayNay.
What?
I'm glad you said that because that was one of the guesses is that people say it tastes like Starburst, but specifically pink Starburst. And some others say strawberry, which I think the pink Starburst is strawberry. But that's what I was getting too. But I was worried that...
It is giving pink Starburst.
I was worried that I was just saying that because that's what other people said. But if you haven't seen any of it...
I didn't even know. No, dude, I don't know if it's Starburst, but oh man, that is what a Starburst tastes like to me. I love me some Starburst. Hey, how many of these did you get? Did you get a lot of them or is it just these two?
12-pack.
Woo, baby! We're drinking today. These are gonna Mountain Dew, of course.
These are going to go faster than the 2023s did in the RadioU building.
You hoarded them in your office. How was I supposed to know they were there? They weren't in the fridge. If they were in the fridge, they would have been gone in November last year.
You know what's weird about this? How do you know? You didn't ever taste it. These ones are kind of like, it is Starburst, but it also has like a Kool-Aid-ness to it. It's like carbonated Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid reminds me of the summer. So Mountain Dew doing this for a Halloween theme, it's a little odd, but I'm not knocking it. I love the flavor. I'm still going with pink Starburst. Final answer.
I guess we'll find out whenever they reveal it. But
how long does it take for them to reveal it?
I think they do it at like Halloween.
I actually didn't even know they revealed it at all. I thought they just left everyone in the dark every year.
I don't think they make a big deal out of it, or we all just forget. But this is like top-notch Mountain Dew, though. Like this is one of the better flavors. This
is good. Baja Blast is still number one and superior by all standards and measures, but if I had to go like special limited edition flavors, this would be a top 5 for me.
I'm with you. You guys, I think this Jeep ducking thing is getting a little out of hand. I don't know if you've seen this. I was just watching a TikTok. Now at Walmart, they have these giant rubber ducks, but they're not rubber ducks. They're like plushies. And they're like $40 each or something like that. And I'm watching these TikToks of people buying, like spending over $100 to get this collection of these giant plushies that are ducks and then go leave them on other Jeeps. I feel like that's just a little much. I mean, these ducks can't even go in your windshield. They take up a whole entire seat in your car. I think it's a little crazy. And I don't know, like this just feels like it's taking it possibly a step or two too far. But I don't know about the whole Jeep ducking thing in the first place. As a Jeep owner, I've always had a tough time with it. I don't know. Like I can go either way on Jeep ducking. I'll tell you what bothers me as a Jeep owner is when I see other SUVs or vehicles that aren't Jeeps that have ducks in the windshield. That's when I really start to get upset. I don't know. Maybe it's just because as long as I've been a Jeep owner, I've never gotten ducked. And so I just feel like you can't, if you're just giving ducks out to everybody, but you're not going to duck me. I feel like that's just not right. It makes me frustrated. And on top of that, if you just start ducking too much, if everyone has too many ducks, then it loses its meaning. And so I feel like we need to dial back the ducking a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just the one that's the problem. I feel like we need to take it easy with the Jeep duck. I sure did not expect to be here on a Tuesday morning after week 3 of the NFL season, talking about how the Bengals and Jaguars are both 0-3 with no real injuries to attribute that to. It's not like Joe Burrow missed training camp or got injured. It's not like Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback for the Jaguars, is out or anything. They have just looked no good. Last night, the Jaguars game, that was over against the Bills. That was over before halftime. It was just a pure domination. It was pathetic watching the Jaguars. And I am at the point where, listen, I don't want to take away. It was cool last night, too. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels, rookie quarterback. He looked great. He's awesome. I think he's going to have a great career as long as he can stay healthy. I think they should have a lot of hope there. I think the Bills look great. They're a Super Bowl contender. But the focus has to be the Jaguars and Bengals, who both need to look at themselves in the mirror today and say, should we fire our coach? Because you both got expensive quarterbacks, number 1 picks that have had success in the past. So you're not getting rid of those guys. You've got to find a coach that can make them work. And quite frankly, too, it's easier to find a halfway decent coach than it is to find a halfway decent quarterback. And you both know, especially the Bengals, you've got one. And there's just no excuse for what you each saw last night when you're already 0-2. It is, you got to save your season. If you couldn't do it last night, these coaches can't do it. You've got to turn the page. You've got to flip a switch. Bill Belichick and Mike Vrabel are out there. There's good options just sitting there waiting to be called. They'd probably love to come help out right now. I will tell you some good news for the Jacksonville Jaguars. After last night, teams that are 6-point underdogs this NFL season, 6 points or bigger underdogs, 12-1 against the spread, 8 straight up wins. And the Jaguars are 6-point underdogs against the Texans. So maybe that's all they need. Maybe they don't need to fire the coach. They just need to be so bad that they're massive underdogs. I heard somebody say something the other day that just really struck a chord with me, and that was they were talking about a difficult time they were going through in their life. They said, I was so sad that my back hurt. And I've never thought about that before, but that is something I've experienced many times, is that sometimes I get so sad or so anxious about something that it's like my back and my shoulders, my neck, like you can just feel, it feels like you're carrying something. And as I thought about it, what I attribute that to is when you are going through a difficult time, something's really weighing heavy on you, like it's figuratively weighing heavy on you, but it feels like it's physically weighing heavy on you, where you are actually feel like you're carrying something on your shoulders that's much heavier than you actually meant to. And it can be it's just uncomfortable. It's just painful. Your back hurts because you're so sad. If this is something that you've ever gone through that sounds familiar to you, I want to let you know that there is support, figuratively, I guess literally as well. There is support for what you're going through. Jesus is ready to take that because it's a weight that weighs on you that you're not meant to lift all on your own when you're going through those difficult times in life. But that can be handed off to Jesus. He's ready to come literally help you carry that load that no one else can see, that no one else might know about, but you can feel it weighing down on you. Jesus will lift that weight off of you. He's ready. Cast your cares and your concerns and your anxiety and your struggles on God. he is ready to lift that weight off of you and give your back a break. You want to know more? Start talking to God. Say, hey, Jesus, I need that help. I'm carrying a lot. I've got a lot of stress going on. I need some help. It's love them or leave them. You can text in or call in your thoughts at 877-2-RADIO-U. The quick version is we have a gal who just went out on a first date with a guy she's known for a little bit. She described him as geeky and nerdy looking, but also intelligent, kind, and the greenest flag. Basically, at a birthday party they were at, random girl comes up to her and says, is that your boyfriend? I hope not, because you deserve better than that. And now our gal is having second thoughts. What should she do? 877-2-RADIO-U. Many good thoughts coming in. Like Jamie, who says, absolutely do not leave. This is a love 'em situation. You should never let outside opinions affect any part of your life. The only opinions and thoughts that matter are your own and your partner's. If he treats you good and you do the same for him, that's all you need. Andrea says she's the one with the red flags. Maybe he deserves better if you're that concerned with what some rando thinks. Although she does say birthday party as a first date is weird. They knew each other. Regina simply says, ignore those jerks. And let's see. We saw Freddie said, what an incredibly rude thing to say. Don't worry about her opinion. She doesn't even know him. Only you know who's attractive to you. I think I'll sum it up by saying this is that the important thing is your initial thoughts about him. And like, unless he personally does something to change that, or maybe unless this gal happened to know something that you don't know, which it doesn't seem that way. What matters is what you two guys are like together. And so if you like him, you should not let other people's opinions affect that, especially a random person that it sounds like you don't even really know that well. I do think there's a hurdle you have to cross mentally. And I think for a lot of people, especially in relationships, a lot of us could be a lot happier in relationships if we could get over the idea of not that you're not attracted to somebody, but bringing them around to your friends. Like, what do you think other people are thinking of you guys when you're together? There's some element of, do I really want my friends to know I'm going out with this person? Sometimes that can be actually a positive thing, but many times, especially when it comes to like attractiveness, that can be a big negative because you're holding yourself back from somebody you actually like because you're afraid other people aren't going to think they're cute. So that's a mental thing. That's on you. That's not anything that's wrong with him. And so that's something that you need to get over. Overall, I mean, you haven't said anything negative about him except that he's kind of nerdy and that doesn't bother you. So I don't really see the issues here. I think this is a mental thing on you to work on, to not worry as much about what other people are thinking. Maybe it sounds like a little insecurity about it, but that can be overcome. Did you see the teaser trailer for Marvel's Thunderbolts? It's a new Marvel movie we're getting in 2025. It stars Florence Pugh as Yelena from, if you've seen The Black Widow, if you've seen the Hawkeye series on Disney Plus, that's where she originates. It also includes Red Guardian, played by David Harbour, also from the Black Widow movie, and Taskmaster's in it, as well as Allegra, John Walker, Ghost, and a new character called Bob. And if a lot of those characters feel unfamiliar to you, that's because many of them are they're just all scattered from different movies and TV shows at this point that you may or may not have seen. Oh, but it does have Sebastian Stan as Bucky, the Winter Soldier. So that's cool. Dare I say, even though a lot of these characters, I see the names here and I'm like, oh, they were in that originally. I don't remember seeing Ghost in the Ant-Man and the Wasp. But that said, the trailer looks cool. Like, dare I say, this is the coolest Marvel trailer in a long time. That doesn't mean the movie's going to be good. I think we've been fooled before. But to me, all of a sudden, I know this is a dangerous game to play with Marvel, but my hopes are kind of a little high. We shall see. If you've seen it, let me know what you think at 877-2-RADIO-U. And all that said, if you've watched it, can we agree that it kind of looks like I don't know, all these guys, they're kind of like bad guys. I don't know. It's almost like they're a squad that's like suicidal or something. Coming up tomorrow, National Lobster Day. Maybe we'll use that for useless knowledge. We'll see. But I'll tell you that tomorrow, if you got up to New England, obviously National Lobster Day, a big deal there. In fact, one restaurant is making it a very, very big deal. One of the biggest deals you could possibly make. They're making it a option for you to get engaged using a lobster roll. And not just any lobster roll. We're talking a lobster roll that's going to cost you about $10,000 if you want to use it to get engaged. This is a restaurant called Polly's North End, where they typically sell what they call the USS Lobstitution. It's a normally $100 lobster roll that contains 28 ounces of lobster meat. That's equivalent to 4 typical lobster rolls. Tomorrow only, they are also adding in a 1 5/8 carat round cut diamond halo engagement ring. If you call ahead and reserve this, it'll make it a $10,000 lobster roll, but it also gives you the opportunity to propose to that special someone over what is possibly their favorite dish, a lobster roll. It sounds delicious. And now has me asking the question, if you had to get engaged over a type of food, like what kind of food would you want to find that engagement ring in or with? Lobster rolls are a pretty good mix of like fancy and also delicious. For me, it's definitely hot dog. Tomorrow, National Lobster Day. We're talking about a restaurant in New England that is allowing people to propose with the USS Lobstitution. It is a 28-ounce lobster roll. Normally costs $100. They're adding in an engagement ring so you can propose over a lobster roll for $10,000. The question is, if someone was to propose to you with food, what food would you want it to be? We got Susanna who says, my husband wooed me with coffee and continues to this day. So that would probably be the obvious proposal vessel. You can't go wrong with coffee. I'm with you on that. Brianna says, I would not want to find a ring in my food, even if it was an engagement ring, even if there was a fire. But maybe I'd be okay with the stereotypical ring on a cupcake. That's nice, classy. Feel like it's good for Instagram. And on that note, Regina says that it would be not so romantic if they started choking on the engagement ring they found in the lobster roll. Well, listen, I said administering the Heimlich maneuver, that can be a very intimate moment for the two of you. So I think that wouldn't be so bad. We also said Jaden says, propose to me over Chipotle, please. I love that. I've been getting more into Chipotle lately, and they've been doing me okay. So that's a good choice. Thanks for listening to The Hudson Show. Please don't forget to rate and review the podcast.